Hi everybody, Mr. C here again. Okay, now do you remember we read a story from this book the other day, and I said I was going to read you the next one the day after that, which was yesterday, and I forgot. So I'm going to read it to you today, and it's about Tiddalik, the largest frog there ever was. Long, long ago, in the dream time, lived the largest frog that ever was. His name was Tiddalik. One morning he woke with a terrible thirst. "Ah!" he croaked. "My throat is parched, I must drink." So he did. Tiddalik slurped up water from the frothy springs. He gurgled and guzzled the burbling streams. He drank every last drop from the billabongs and bogs, and drained the rivers and lakes. Then he smacked his lips and croaked, "I'm still thirsty. There must be more water left in this world." He searched the sky for rain clouds with great flicks from his long slimy tongue. He burst the clouds inside his mouth, so raindrops drizzled down his yawning throat, until at last he was fit to burst. Tiddalik was finally full, but without water the world withered. The ground cracked, plants wilted, turned yellow and died. Leaves dropped from the trees dropped to the ground, which heaved a sigh and said, "Ah, help, I am dying of thirst." So all the animals came together by the dried up banks of the Molongo River to see if they could save the world. The crocodile spoke first. "Tiddalik must give us back our water," he demanded with a snap. "But how?" chanted the emu and the kangaroo. "We must make Tiddalik laugh," said a wise old wombat. "If he will only open his mouth, the water will come gushing out." So the animals rushed to Tiddalik's resting place down in the Kwongan sands. The kookaburra kicked off with his very best joke, and the emu laughed so loudly the wattlebat woke, but Tiddalik took no notice. The kangaroo and the wallaroo jumped through hoops, while the blue-tongued skink turned her tongue to pink. "What a hoot!" laughed the rabbit-eared bandicoot, but Tiddalik took no notice. For days the animals joked and danced and sang and pranced without a glimmer of a smile from the swollen frog. And then, at last, the eel slunk onto the scene. He had been hiding under the last of the mud, but the baking sun had turned it to dust. He twirled around, he jumped up and down, he wriggled and squirmed, then fell flat on the ground. And for the very first time, Tiddalik forgot to frown, and his lips curled up in a smile. "More!" cried the wise old wombat. "Keep going, Mr. Eel, keep going!" The eel leaped up and down and wobbled his body, but Tiddalik's smile spread over his face, and his bulging cheeks began to shake. For his final act, the eel stood on one spot, then moved faster and faster, tying himself in a series of knots. As Tiddalik watched the writhing eel, he knew he could stand it no more. He clutched his stomach and rolled his eyes and let out a huge guffaw. The water gushed up from his gaping mouth with a deafening, thunderous roar. It seeped into the cracks in the dried up ground, then bubbled back up in the springs. It poured from there into babbling streams, which flowed into rivers, which fed the lakes, until the world was awash with water once more. The sky grew darker, the clouds grew bigger, until one by one they burst. Then down it came, great buckets of rain, bringing life to the land at last. Tiddalik looked on in shame. "I promise," he croaked, "never to be so greedy again." The end. Hope you enjoyed that. I did. So, goodbye from the Treasury of Animal Stories, and goodbye from Mr. C. You all take care, okay? Bye-bye. Bye.